and also with E and Y. So in Oracle, when this fusion was being initiated, I was part of one of the financial track lead to discuss on the features to be included. So going with the today's agenda, we are going to discuss on definition of ERP for those who are freshers, and what are the different ERP types, what exactly is the Oracle Fusion Financials, and what is the ERP product. We will in-depth discuss on Fusion Financials applications and what are the current releases and advantages, what advantages we have, and what exactly the knowledge sharing, the concept about, and definitely about our institute, the course content, duration, and how, what exactly you're going to get the benefit when you're going to done with this course, like job opportunities across globe. So in terms of understanding the ERP, so ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So in the simplest way, it is all processes which are needed to run a company. So the demand for financials in one way is because it starts with finance. You cannot run an organization without being finance. So that is the reason I could see that based on my so many years of experience, finance stands on the top of it, of all the other modules. And then definitely we have the HR, manufacturing, supply chain services, procurement, and others as well. And to understand, it's a most basic level of integrations which are into different processes which are as a part of a system. So you could see here the business process. So business process is nothing but a set of tasks that directly or indirectly help your business provide the product or services. So what is the purpose of highlighting these business process? Because when we are going to do the setups in the system, for sure, first we need to understand what is a business process. So based to understand business process, then we have to get into the concepts. So once we are clear on the business process, then it will be easy for us either to do the implementation or to do the setups as well. So when we are talking about the business flow, we say business areas accounting. So we have Oracle applications like GL, general ledger, accounts payable, fixed assets, accounts receivable, and cash management. So in similar way, we have accounting like procure to pay. Procure to pay is something where we are talking about the purchase order, accounts payable, so and so module. So in this way, we are going to discuss on that, and mostly our core area will be accounting to financial reports. This will be the modules. Apart from that, we will also cover the integrations which are related to procure to pay, which are related to order to cash as well. We will cover those things. So let's try to understand what are the different types of ERPs in the market. And as you could see that Oracle Cloud, it stands on the top within all the ERPs. Then comes the SAP, the other NetSuite and Dynamics and all those things. The reason of Oracle Cloud being on top is for many reasons, in terms of it's being moved to cloud, and it is very dominant since last 25 years in the market. Particularly Oracle is more dominant on the financial side. So that is one of the reasons. And being cost optimized and across the globe, Oracle has a very strong support for the clients, for the vendors. And apart from that, there are a lot of opportunities within the Oracle Cloud Financials or ERP. So that is also one of the reasons it's always stand on top of it. So let's try to understand what is the Oracle ERP. As we are talking about, it's a cloud-based software solution used to automate the back office processes and day-to-day business activities. The reason it's being Oracle Cloud is in terms of the business management, where we have the financial management, supply chain, project, human. So all these are integrated as one application, which is now representing as a cloud, I would say the applications. And within that, we have the financials and other applications as well. So when we are talking about the Oracle Fusion Financials, it's a complete integrated financial management solution with a lot of automated financial processes. So when I say about automated financial processing means it is helpful for both implementation who are going to do the implementation and those who are supporting the end user for the organizations as well. In terms of many of the activities are batch processing, and you could see as management control in terms of approvals, in terms of user access, and real-time visibility means the moment we post a transaction within seconds, either I'm sitting in India or any part of the globe, I can see those results. So that is something real-time visibility to financial results. And when we talk about the broad, complete, and solution delivering extensive support, because in terms of you could see that most of the majority of the global companies or industries, they are preferring Oracle Fusion Financials. If you could see US, particularly Middle East, India, Asia Pacific, many of the organizations, they are moving to Fusion Financials because of their technologies and as well as for the intelligent automation and reports which we will definitely discuss about it. So apart from that, the deployment into the cloud is much more faster and the results are very much within 3 to 6 months, you can have your system up and running. So that is also one of the reason where the Fusion Financials has become very much quite popular since last few years. So when we talk about Oracle Fusion applications, it's a complete modular suite of applications. You could see that we have the Oracle Fusion Financial Management, Human Capital, which is called as HCM. Then we have Supply Chain Management. We have Project Portfolio, Fusion, Oracle CRM. Then we have few of the common modules. The reason why it has become much more popular is also like earlier, the Oracle Fusion HCM was called as a PeopleSoft. So this was a separate application. Now it has been part of the Fusion applications. The similar way, CRM was Sibyl, which is now part of the Oracle itself. So Oracle has acquired these applications and they have put it into under one umbrella so that the integrations within these applications become very strong. And that is also one of the reasons where these days you could see a lot of openings are coming up under this Fusion Financials, particularly because this is the base to start with. I mean to say when we start the financial setups or discussions, we basically start with general ledger because this is the setup which is going to shade or a common shade applications across all these applications as well. So that is the reason the demand for the financial consultants is much more because they are the one who need to put the base, who need to initiate the application. So for that reason, the general ledger is one of the core areas where we start our setups. Then definitely when we are going to discuss during our course, we also discuss what are the common modules. Like if I'm talking about HCM, we need to have the user or the employees. And when we talk about the supply chain management items, then SCM, when we talk about SCM purchase orders, which will again be integrated to the accounts payable. So from here on the Oracle Fusion CRM, we are going to have customer master. So in that way, all these modules are interlinked one or the other way. So for that reason, financial management stands on top of it and it's very much important. So now to understand why Oracle has become, cloud has become much more popular is in terms of when we compare Fusion on-premise versus cloud solutions, we could see that on-premises definitely had the challenges in terms of maintaining the hardware, maintaining the security, and the dynamic change in the technologies. So for that reason, Oracle decided to move to cloud. And in terms of third-party integration, third party means, let's say I have SAP or Salesforce, even those organizations, they are forced to move into some of the Oracle cloud applications. So in that way, it is also very much easy to integrate those applications. So when we talk about the Oracle Cloud, so we have three ways to define it. One is the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So when we talk about infrastructure as a service, you could see those which are highlighted in the black. These are something where the organization manages. The rest of the visualization servers, the provider manages. Provider means it can be a vendor from Oracle side or from IBM or any other third party. So you could see platform as a service, applications and data, organizations manages. The rest of the things, everything is managed by the provider. Now, when we talk about software as a service, you could see that applications, from applications to networking, everything is managed by the vendor. So what is the advantage of it? So once everything is being managed by the vendor, so the organizations are more, in terms of like, they are more keen or more inclined to work on the revenue side. So in that way, how they can do the cost optimization, how they can increase their business. So in that way, this is becoming much more popular. So currently we could say software as a service, SaaS, is much more popular as a part of the cloud applications. So these are the different ERP cloud environment releases. We started with release 1 with the versions, and currently we are into the latest version, which is R30. So let's try to understand what are the course which we are going to cover and what you're going to learn. So we are going to have general ledger, accounts payable, payments and collections, which is again part of the AP module. We are going to learn the asset management. We are going to learn the accounts receivable. In the accounts receivable, we will also learn what is the revenue management. And we also have the cash and expense management. Expense management is something relevant with the fusion expenses. Then we have the common modules also. Common modules, when I talk about like how we are going to define the users, how we are going to provide the access to these modules. And apart from that, we will also discuss on like how, for example, the SCM interacts with the accounts payable, how the order management interacts with the accounts receivable, how in terms of accounts payable is going to interact with asset management. So all those we will discuss in detail. So when I'm going to talk about the general ledger, we start basically to understand what is a business unit, what is the organization, and how we are going to define that, and what will be the ledger. Ledger means we are going to set up. So we start basically to understand the business process, and we try to analyze what is the user or the organization requirement. So not only we are going to cover, or I'm going to cover on these topics, I will also cover like what is a business process, and to do the relevant setups, what are the different activities we have to start first. Like we have to definitely have the requirement gatherings, and we need to understand what is a business unit, what is a legal entity, and what is the purpose of defining the legal entity, and what is a subledger accounting, because this is very much important concept in the GL, which will be covered in depth. And apart from that, chart of accounts, because these chart of accounts are nothing but once we define it, it is going to be shared across different applications. When I say different applications, I'm talking about SCM, order management, within all the organizations. So that is the reason for us, this is the first basic module to start with. And apart from that, financial consultants always stand as a top priority or on top. Because of this, the one they have to define these setups, then only the other modules or other activities within the other modules can start. So this is the base to start. And I'm going to cover each and everything on these, like what is a calendar. And I could see that when you are interacting with Krishna sir, a few of them are new, or few of them into different areas of manufacturing, or they just started their career. So we start from the base. I mean to say, if even if you don't have any background, what exactly where you need to start with, I will be explaining the concepts. I will start from the basics so that you understand the different concepts of it. So when I talk about approvals, like approvals are very important in terms of on the GL, general ledger side, accounts payable. So now Oracle Fusion has introduced a very powerful business process management approvals. So we will cover this in detail, and reconciliations for sure it is required. Let's say, for example, if tomorrow not only I might be hired as an implementator, or I might be hired as a support team as well. So when we talk about the support team, so what exactly we do in the reconciliations, that will be discussed. And apart from that, in based on my earlier experiences with some of the batch, one person has to manage multiple activities. So in that scenario, like what is, like I also may need to define the user. So what is the security rules? So you will be learning all these in depth, one by one, covering all those important and critical subject as well in this one. So I will also be discussing the advanced level intercompany and reporting currencies, and apart from the translations. And also the most important thing to understand is integration across subledgers. So I will be giving a real examples like how the accounts payable is integrated to the GL with few of the you will be doing an assignments which will be clearly making you understand how the data has to be flown from other modules to the GL as well. So when I talk about the fusion, so few important things which we will definitely start with, again the procure to pay cycle. That will be the first thing to start with. We are going to discuss on the payable setup. So in the payable setup, we will understand like what exactly we need to do the setup based on the requirement, and what options are there, which based on that how the system is going to behave. So if you are going to check mark one option, how the system is going to differently behave. Because what happens is, not only from the implementation side, we also need to understand from the user perspective, from the support perspective. So I will be covering in depth on the payable setups. For sure, invoice options, like for example, if I take, we have a payment terms or the default activities to be part of the invoice. And when we give any of those accounts, how it will be flown to the system within that. So I will be discussing on that as well. In the payment, we will cover different types of payment, where we are talking about from a very basic of payment to the advanced level, which is something called as payment process request. So we are going to discuss on the reference data sets, which is something very important. Like I create one data, so that should be whether I need to have it for my own or within my own business group, or it should be across different business groups. So we definitely will be covering all those in depth. And periods, here you could see these periods will be different from the general accounting periods what we have in the GL. So we will differentiate what is the difference of that, and what are the different types of periods are there, like open, close, so and so. And the banks, apart from the suppliers, we also discuss in detail on banks. So banks will be covering the modules which will be for cash management, accounts receivable, for payables as well. So we will have a common understanding on the banks, how it is going to impact the payables, how it is going to impact the receivables, how it is going to impact the cash management reconciliation, all those things. And apart from that, we will also discuss on invoice types like standard, credit memo, debit memo, prepayments, what is a retainage. So those, so basically in a nutshell, as a summary, whatever is being discussed or going on in the industry currently, based on that, the setups, the discussions, the process flows, the support issues will be discussed. Because I myself is a real time, I'm currently working, so I know in and out what are the things which are required on day-to-day dynamic business changes. So based on that, I will be discussing as well. So we will also for sure discuss on the approval setups and processes, what are the different foreign currency invoice and payment configurations. And apart from that, as Fusion Payables, how it is integrated to the general ledger, fixed assets, and cash management. Because integration is very important. When you complete this course and you attend the interviews, the first thing they ask about is the business process and how the modules are integrated. So coverage on this will be much more in depth, because we need to understand how exactly the setup you made is impacting on these integrations. So moving to the receivables topics, we will start understanding on what is a system option. System options is nothing but where we define the basic setups and how we can control the applications, like we will be having automatic receipts and how the statement cycles to be generated. So in terms of customer profile class, so each customer we can define into different profile classes, as this will also be required for the order management and for the other modules like CRM. So we will be defining that in detail. We will be covering that. And apart from that, we will also understand how a customer creation process happens. When I say manual, we can also upload the customer through the spreadsheet. That will also be covered. And when we say auto accounting rules, like when I'm generating an invoice, so which account should be as a part of receivable, as a part of revenue, that will be defined over here in the auto accounting rules. And what is the purpose of that? Why we need to define that? What is the reason behind that? So that will be covered as well. So when we talk about different transaction source and types, it will be covered. When I say transaction source, I'm talking about invoices, credit memos, debit memos, which can be automatic and manual as well. So again, we have the receipt classes, and we also have something called as integration, where we are going to integrate with GL and cash management. So integrations and setups, when we are talking about the setups, how it impacts your modules, different modules, and when you get any support issues, how you are going to address that. That is also very much important. And I will be covering those as part of this course as well with these topics. So when I talk about the cash management, we have the bank statement creations, which is manual and automatic. So we will cover in depth like how we are going to take a file from the bank side and how it is uploaded in the real world and how it gets reconciled, how a transaction is being generated and moved to the GL. And forecasting is one of the powerful feature in the cash management, like which every organization prefers to have. So we will discuss in depth. And apart from that, we will also have the reconciliations, which I'm talking about from cash management to the GL aspect. So now going with the other module as well. So fusion expenses, this is one of the latest, I mean to say, it's a very powerful module which has been introduced, and particularly fusion expenses is used where the employees are going to apply for any advances or they are going on a business trips. So how it is going to be impacted in the system. Like, let's say, for example, I'm an employee of an organization. So I apply for a business trip. So I take an advance. So how it will be moving further and what are the different processes to cover and how a expense report we are going to enter it in the system and how it is going to approve. And again, there will be audit process which will happen. And this is again integrated with the fusion expenses. So when I say fusion expenses to accounts payable, the expense report which I'm going to enter, it will be approved by my manager. And if required, it will be audited. And once this process is done, then we run a process to convert this expense report to invoice. So that invoice will go to accounts payable. And in the accounts payable, again, it will be approved and that will go to payment. So this is how we have the expense reimbursements, or a complete process will be covered during the discussions. So that is one of the reasons where Fusion Expenses is much more integrated with accounts payable and cash management, even with the GL as well. So we will cover in depth the required setups, what in case if you are going to have some issues encountered, how we can reach out to the Metalink or the Oracle support, how it can be resolved. We will be discussing those in detail as well, apart from the integrations. So when we talk about the Oracle fixed assets, we will start understanding from the category value sets. So these value sets are different from the general ledger value sets. So we start defining what is a category in the asset, what is a location, what are the key flex fields, how we are going to configure the system. And these calendar, fiscal year calendar or asset calendar is totally different from GL. But what differentiate these calendar, and how when we are going to define this calendar, what will be the impact on the depreciation, or when we are going to add the assets, how these calendars are going to play a vital role, we'll be discussing in detail. So we will also cover which is the asset book, which is the prominent asset feature, and all the asset works only on this asset book. And we will also be discussing on the tax book, because asset book will be different from the tax book in some scenarios. We will discuss on that. And when we are talking about adding the assets, we have manual additions. We also upload from the spreadsheet, that will also be shown. And apart from that, we also have accounts payable mass additions. So from accounts payable, we can also add or convert the invoice to the asset. So that will also be covered under the asset additions, which is part of asset creation. Then any asset which is still not yet in process, so that will be as a construction in progress. So how we are going to create that and how we can convert into asset, that will be covered. And apart from that, how we are going to run the depreciation, what is the retirement, what is like when we are going to have any asset either being sold out or theft. So what action we have to take as a part of retirement. And in some case, if I want to revert back the retirement, what can be a reinstatement, which we have to do. So all these are interlinked. So we start from this level, we go step by step accordingly. So we start, the reason why we need to start from the beginning is to understand first the requirement gathering. Then we discuss on, okay, what are the things which we require to do the setups. So how it is, then once we come to this in terms of asset creation, like what is the feel and look of a user when he creates the asset. So if he encounters the issues, then definitely as a consultant, as a support engineer, where it can be a problem, so I have to go back to my setups. So this is where we start learning. So we get an experience in terms of implementation as a implementation or the functional consultant. We definitely need to understand from the user perspective when we create or we do a operational transaction. And when we encounter any issues, when we go back and rectify the setup, so we understand, okay, because of this setup, this was the issue. So in that way, we also get experience to the support issues as well. So we play three roles during this course, like as implementator, as a end user, or as a key user, as a supporter. Because once you are done these course, you might be placed as an implementator, or you can be placed as a support engineer, or you can be absorbed in any of the MNCs or the organizations who are using these applications to support internally to their teams as well. So it can be any part of it, or you can be part of an integration team as well to discuss how it will be integrated with different modules. Again, when we talk about all these things, the final will be to create the accounting entries and transfer to GL. So I could also see that some of them were saying, I did not got into this course because I'm a bit scared on the accounting entries. So normally to those who are non-finance background, I do conduct one session on the basic accounting to understand what exactly is required to be much more comfortable on the Fusion financials. And also I share with you a document which is a very basic to understand. And also whenever I'm going to discuss on the course, I keep it very simple with concepts plus accounting entries. So as per based on my experience, whatever I've taken the batches, those who are non-finance are doing really good being onto the financial, because they just need to understand the basics. That's it. You don't need to be a hardcore finance guy to understand all these things. Those who are into finance, it's well and good. If you are non-finance, also no issue. And then we are going to discuss on the tax as well. So tax in terms of, we also have different taxes. Like we talk about what is a tax regime. Regime is nothing but we create a tax for different percentage, different organizations. Then we also have jurisdictions are nothing but locations. Like if I'm, let's say, in a union territory, my GST will be different. If I am into a normal metro city, my tax will be different. So we are going to cover what is a regime, what are the taxes, what are the jurisdictions, which is nothing but again the geography, rates in terms of some organizations they use 10%, some organizations which are manufacturing, they go by quantity produced. So we will be discussing on this in detail. Then tax status means in terms of once we have done whether what is the act, whether it is active, inactive, then based on the understanding or the requirements, you also do the configurations of different tax options. And also we run the validate geographies. Apart from that, we also have something called as tax simulator, where you can simulate how exactly whatever the setup you have defined, how it is behaving in the system. If everything is fine, then we move to the real world or to the real transaction. So in the fusion, we are going to cover the transactions tax for AP and AR. Apart from that, in the AP, I'm also covering the withholding tax as well. So then, apart from what I have discussed on the GL, APR, fixed assets, cash management, fusion expenses, I will also be covering the common features, which is in terms of the data migration. Like as I mentioned, file-based data import. File-based data import is something where we will see one example when we are going to have the receivable. Yes.
Do you have any questions on the modules or topics that we explained so far? Any questions, team?
Naveen, sir.
Naveen, go ahead.
So actually, this is part of fully and finance, right? So in that finance, is there any I have heard some of the classes for supply chain management. In the fusion also we can learn like OM P1 purchasing, like inventory.
No, that is supply chain management course, Naveen. This is financials.
Okay.
Already to cover this content, we need 70 to 80 hours of time. So if we combine OM and PO, it will become 6 months training.
Okay.
OM,
Because
I'll take care of supply chain management. I'm the supply chain management faculty. Order management, minimum 20 hours is required. For PO, minimum 20 hours is required.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Yeah, then totally it would be 6 months of training.
So only for SCM?
I mean to say, if we combine both financials and SCM, that's why it should be separated, supply chain and financials.
Sir, is it possible to learn? Because I'm into financial end user guy.
We are covering PO basics.
Yeah,
Order management we are not covering, but in the financials course, we are covering the PO basics, like how to create a basic requisition, basic PO, and how that PO can be invoiced from the AP module. That we are covering.
Okay, sir. That I can understand. Sir, but actually, I mean, you said before, like I said before, I'm into supply chain. I mean, I'm into end user, like for Oracle end user, like invoice processing, payment, and all. So, is there any chance to learn for HCM instead of finance?
Okay.
I told you already. I suggest you already.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Again, you are
Yeah.
still in that same dilemma only. Okay. If you ask me the same
It's
question in different way multiple days, I'll tell the same answer only. If you ask me my personal suggestion, go with the financials undoubtedly.
okay, sir. Thank you.
So if you go with the supply chain management, your end
Yeah.
user experience on the finance, it would be wasted.
Okay, sir.
Go
No,
with the financial side.
don't mind. So I'm keep asking the
No
same
problem. No
question. Just
problem.
like I'm getting.
No problem. No problem.
Okay.
Okay. Star also told you that if you have some issues with the accounting entries, he will help you. He will take a separate session on the accounting entries also. He just covered that point also.
Okay, sir. Okay.
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 Any other questions, team, from others?
No, this is Shekhar. Are we going to
Okay.
consider OTBI report, FR Studio report in this class?
OTBI basics we are covering,
Okay.
and FRS reports also we are covering.
Okay.
That we are covering as part of the technical course. And my technical faculty will conduct a separate workshop for that.
No, but basic we are going to consider covering in this session, like what is the FR Studio
Yeah,
report? How we are.
I meant to say that's covered by my technical faculty as a separate workshop.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Shekhar, you are from which company?
I'm from Cyber Foods.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Thank you. Next, please. We received your payment, Shekhar. Yeah.
Yes.
For this
Yes.
batch.
Yes.
Any more questions, team?
Hi, sir. I have a question.
Hi, Priya.
Hi. Actually, like I'm into completely into investment banking side. Like my company currently, I'm working into financial services. Like, is there any opportunity? Like, if I join this, applications that if I change my domain now, will there be any opportunities? Like, shall I get?
Of course, as I mentioned, Priya, you are taking a good decision to shift your career into this side.
Okay.
Because you are shifting into IT side. There are a lot of opportunities are there on the Fusion financials. Okay. And here in the financials, we are also covering the taxation part. Tax model is also there. The tax model also get covered. And apart from only tax model, you will be working on the other modules also. So it's a better opportunity to switch your career into the IT side.
Okay. And another question, sir, like now currently I have 2.5 year experience in this financial services, okay, investment banking. Like, shall I use this experience or shall I start as a fresher in this application side?
No, your experience definitely helps you to shortlist your profile, to get good job. You have to project your domain experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I'm suggesting to, I think, Naveen also. Because your domain experience gives value to your resume. So based on your domain experience, you have to learn the next technology or next application. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Any more questions, Priya? Any more questions on the content? Because we are covering everything from the basic. Okay. If you attend this training, we will show you the placements also. We will also show you the placements.
Yeah, even I have this doubt, like, oh, how's the placement assistance and everything?
Yeah, we will provide you the placements also. Already we are showing the placements to the existing students also. We are having a lot of requirements and we are falling with shortage of the profiles.
Okay, actually recently one of my friend got a job. He actually took this course from your institute only. You only suggested this about this, okay?
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any more questions, team, on the content? Sir, you can continue. Okay, we'll take questions at the end.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So to add up, we also have, which I will be covering the additional common features, which is like data migration, because this is important to understand when we are talking about the cash management, how we are going to receive a file from a bank, how it is going to be uploaded. Apart from that, we also need to upload the general entries or the customer or the supplier data or budget. So we will also be using or showing those things as well through the application development. And apart from that, we also will be covering what are the export and import features, what is the rapid implementation quickly setup, which is quite famous. We'll be discussing on that. And the most important will be like when we are talking about migrating from the legacy system to the Fusion financials, what are the things which we need to consider it? What are the open invoices is nothing but which needs to be taken into the Fusion and match it with the payments or the invoices or the fixed assets as well. So in terms of, in a nutshell, we will cover like how exactly the real implementation works when we are moving from legacy system to the Fusion financials. So in terms of, as I mentioned earlier, we will be having, when we start or we cover this course, we will be keeping in mind the implementation, support and upgrade. So implementation challenges of real world, I am going to discuss it. I will also be covering one session on understanding of OUM, because this is a part of Oracle implementation which is followed across the globe, and what are the data migrations and open items, which will also be discussed from implementation perspective. So when we talk about support, so transition from implementation to support, how exactly it happens when we have the go live, what are the expected support issues that will be discussed, and when, if in case if you are going to join an organization where you may be part of the upgrade team, so that will also be discussed, what are the challenges and expected issues. So it covers both implementator as a support, as a upgrade, or as an end user as well. So overall, the training methodology of Tech Leads IT is, as I mentioned, we are going to have the business flow. So we go with accounting to financial reports, then procure to pay, order to cash. As Naveen has a question like, if I'm going to have the accounts payable, what about the purchase order? So that we will show exactly how the purchase order is matched to the accounts payable, how normally, auto invoicing is done in the accounts receivable to receive that. So apart from that, as I mentioned, we will be emphasizing more on the process, because processes will also be part of the setup and support. So create payables, invoice. So we will cover, I've just highlighted few of the processes which will be covered, but it will be in depth to take it up. And the training concepts are very clear. First, we go with the definition to understand, then what are the setup steps, where and how we need to do, and what are the integration data points. So if I'm just taking one slide as an example, this is a definition and this is the setup steps. So we take one so and so steps to follow, and then where and how to set up. This is important. And apart from that, process flow. So if I'm taking an example of a fixed assets, like we say asset additions, how it is going to be transferred, how an asset can be retired, so and so depreciation, all this is followed through this. So we start with concepts, we end with setups. So apart from that, every module, definitely we need to have the assignments for that. So we will be giving a case study where you will be giving a challenge, and once you are done, we will also be discussing on the solution as well. So assignment is mandatory and it's compulsory as well, because that is how you will learn. Unless and until you don't do assignments, you will not be confident enough. And definitely about us, we are almost trained 30,000 plus students, and we completed 1200 plus batches, 50 plus instructors from financials, SCM, and you could see on the Google as well review, our satisfaction rate is 99%. And the course details, it will cover in-depth understanding of the applications starting from GL. Apart from GL, we will also cover the user creation, which is part of the admin, and payables, receivables, fixed assets, so and so. And also, as I mentioned, how to set up, administer, and use your cloud financial applications. We will provide the insight, what exactly and how we need to handle it based on the real world examples. And the session will be 1 hour. Sorry to just ignore this time. It will be morning. Sorry.
Sir, you can update the time now itself in the PPT.
Yeah, I will do that. Just
yeah. So timing would be 7 to 8 morning team. The session timing 7 to 8 morning, Monday to Saturday. We need 2.5 months to complete the course. 2.5 months.
So it will be Monday to Saturday. As we say normally 70 hours, sometimes we go beyond that, but this is a minimum 70 hours which is required because we need to cover almost more than 150 plus topics. And what are the advantages? Definitely we have the real industry implementation and support scenarios, real-time assignments and case study. Apart from that, also I prefer to have, or we normally giving mock interviews. We conduct mock interviews and group discussions because this will help you to prepare yourself for interviews. And apart from that, I also look into the resume preparations, so we can guide you like how exactly you should represent your resume. And as Krishna sir mentioned, definitely we have placements, opportunity for freshers and experience, and access to the class recording sessions will be available. And training instance availability is 24/7 and 1 year membership. And apart from that, we also have 2 instances where you can practice it out, and study materials, as I mentioned, basic accounting, Fusion Financial course and interview questions will be shared, and certificate of achievement will be given once you are done with this. And we also have the WhatsApp group support. So in case if you're stuck during your assignments or any time, we don't wait for next day. It can be, you can put your question over here and it will be resolved as well. So as few of them asked, what is our like?
One second, please.
Yes, sir.
Please go back to the previous slide. Team, do you have any questions on the course facilities? 1 year membership. Within 1 year, you can attend multiple batches. And we'll also provide you the daily recording access from our website till 1 year. Till 1 year, you can also watch the recordings from our website. You can access our website from any device, tablet, mobile, laptop. You can watch the videos. We'll also help you with the resume preparation, interview questions, study material, activities. Activities also will provide you practice activities. We have WhatsApp group also. In that WhatsApp group, you can post your questions. If you're stuck with any issue or any error when you're practicing, you can post in that WhatsApp group. We'll also provide you the course completion certificate. Course completion certificate also will provide. Any questions in this slide? Any questions in the course facility?
Hello.
That we are
Krishna. Hello.
Hi, sir. Soumya here. So this placements where you have written for fresher and experienced, so this will be done only after the completion of the course, or it'll happen in the between of the course also?
It depends. Sometimes some companies, they also take the students who are undergoing with the training.
Okay.
And if we get such kind of requirements, we will share your profile immediately. Some companies, they ask fully trained candidates. In that case, you need to wait till the course completion.
So to add Krishna sir's information, recently in one of the batch we got a requirement which was very urgent. So the guys who have completed 3 modules itself, they asked for the resumes. So we, they submitted. So it can happen anytime for anyone.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So,
Krishna, this is Shekhar.
hi, Shekhar.
Regarding the group discussion and the mock interview, so like I have total 10-year experience. I have attended number of interview, but sometime I have some limitations. So my question is like another member in our team is having the like the fresher or 1 to 2 years experience. So how you are going to teach me like the mock interview, or like the my question is like how we are going to discuss the
Mock-up interview. Mock-up interview. It's a group mock-up interview and also individual mock-up interviews also.
But fresher having the different level of questions, and I have like the if I am going to
listen to me, Shekhar. Okay, I got your question. Listen to me.
Okay.
So group mock-ups also there, individual mock-ups also there. Okay, if you want, we can take individual mock-up for you.
Okay, Krishna, thank you.
Based on your experience, we will ask questions to you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Clear now?
Got your point. Thanks.
So adding to Krishna sir's updates. I myself is one of the part of the interview panel as well. So I know exactly what are the things which will be asked based on different, if it is a fresher or if it is even a 15 years of experience, how the questions should range. So based on that, we will make it up. Nothing to worry.
Actually, this will help us to improve my
Yeah,
like
definitely.
the poor
Yes.
area. Thank you, Bashir.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Yeah. Any more questions, team? Sir, you can move to the next slide.
Okay.
Is there anything that important in the next slide? Yeah, go ahead, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is about like few of were asking, like Priya was asking if I'm switching from one of the my current career to what happens if I'm into the fusion financials and all those. So you could see that freshers having finance background and want to become a cloud functional consultant like BCom, MBA, CA, whatever it is. And apart from that, if you are already experienced, like in case of Naveen, for example, he's already into the EBS or fusion or whatever, and he wants to enhance his skills. And apart from that, we also have like people we have seen like from engineering or any other streams, they can also be part or they can be, good fusion consultants as well, because we also handhold them as providing the accounting relevant sessions, and wherever they require any help, we put additional efforts as well. So you could see that the openings across pan India and global, which is Middle East, US, and other regions. Minimum package what we have placed few of the students is it started for the fresher is 3.5 to 5 lakhs. This is what we have seen. And also you could see that this is one of the postings which I have taken from Naukri.com. You could see like for the fusion financials, what are the different, criteria they can have, MCOM, others, and all those stuff. So this is just to highlight and get you into a confidence like, yes, you can have more weightage on it. So apart from that, we also have the material access, which you will be getting access to G Drive, where the day-to-day concepts and accounting entries and those things will be put on the G Drive, and you all will be getting the access to that. So a few of the snapshots in terms of the reviews, which from our earlier students, which they have shared. Even you can go ahead and check it on IT Tech Leads as well, Tech Leads IT as well, on the reviews which are available. So we have just taken to share with you as well. So we cover in depth, and we cover whether you are experienced or fresher or you have 10 years of experience. We just go accordingly as per it. So again, few of the snapshots. So this is overall in terms of the course content and what are the advantages having with Tech Leads IT. And if you have any questions, please, you can.
Team, one thing I wanted to add here. So you are looking for senior faculty, real-time faculty, good trainer, good facilities, and placement support. We are going to help you in all these areas. We are good at all these areas. Okay. On top of it, I don't think you don't need basically anything else. Good trainer, good subject, placement support, and the facilities that the institute is providing. Right?
Sir, I have one question. I'm Krishna.
Yeah.
So now we are into the fusion financial course, right? So if we have any openings in EBS, can we apply for those?
Yeah, you can apply. Basically, process is same, Krishna. Process is same, but the application is different. That's it. The way that we operate. The good example I'll tell you. Mobile phone, Android phone, and then iPhone. Process is same, but the way the application feature functionality, navigation is different. That's it. Process is same. You can also apply. For freshers, you can apply easily.
Okay. Also, I have experience in this. GL from 9 years. As an end user, I use all this. Journal ledger reports, TBs, and uploaded those ADI templates. I have experience in the end user side. Now, can I leverage this experience while attending?
Correct. Yeah, you will become a IT consultant now, IT functional consultant. So now you are on the other side. Now you are coming to this side.
Okay.
You can still keep your end user experience. That's definitely gives value to your profile, to value to your knowledge also. You can easily correlate what you are doing currently with the subject.
So, post this course, can I change my resume, including those points to
Of
relating
course,
this to current
you
course
can
point?
add 1 or 2 implementations also.
Okay.
You can update your resume saying that you did, or you did IT support to your end users itself. Right now, what
Okay.
is happening? If you get any issues, you take help from the IT team, right? You
Yes.
can update your profile saying that you have helped end users. You are a super user, or you
I
are
al-
worked in IT team. You can project a resume like that.
so I also have experience in some UAT processes where I mean in my
Yes,
earlier
as
process,
I
I have
mentioned,
some UAT process.
one implementation you can project, 1 2
Okay.
implementations in your resume. Implementation means everything covered: requirement gathering, configuration, testing, everything get covered. You will be all covered.
Okay.
Hi Krishna sir and Basha sir. So my question is similar to this question actually. So I have 12 years experience in GL. So currently I'm working as a team leader. So can I switch in? So how can I switch my career, sir, into this?
You can see after completion of this course, you attend regularly classes, practice well, and then you can update your resume saying that you did 1 or 2 implementations on the financials modules, like you worked on APR and GL also. Okay.
So how many years can I can put in this as a functional
Depends on your
consultant?
capability, Kumaraswamy. It depends on your capability. Okay, if your grasping level is really high, you can put 4 years, 5 years also. If you are practicing well on the application, it depends on your capability. So we are going to give you the subject of 5 years, guys. 5 years experience subject on the Fusion application. After completion of our course, if you practice really well, you can put 5 years experience, 5 projects on the Fusion itself directly.
Okay.
Okay, that sort of knowledge, that sort of real-time scenario we'll cover in the training.
Sir, so based on based on the experience, we can get the package, right, sir? So currently, so 12 years means my package is let's say example 10 lakhs plus. So can I expect more than that, like so?
So there is a formula. There is a formula here. Number of years into 2 lakhs. Suppose 10 years means 10 into 2, 20 lakhs is the good package. Number of years into 3 is high package. Number of years into 3 lakhs is high package. Number of years into 2 lakhs is the okay. I mean to say it's satisfied package.
Oh.
Okay. So that means right now you're having 10 years experience means into multiply into 2 lakhs. That means 20 lakhs is the package that you should gain. If you are earning 3 lakhs per year means 10 into 3, 30 lakhs is the highest package. That's a part.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah,
Any more doubts?
So adding to your point, Kumaraswamy, you already have into GL, right? That much of user
Yes, sir.
experiences, right? So you concentrate more on the setup side, then you become the master of it. Then you can claim, like I know, it all depends on your confidence, as what Mr. Krishna sir said.
Yeah.
Any other questions, please?
Hello, sir. I'm Geeta.
Yes, Geeta.
Yes, sir. I'm actually from an engineering background. I have 5 years of experience in engineering sector totally. I wanted to shift back to this IT sector. So
Right.
most of them suggested me to go for HR, Oracle Fusion, finance and procurement side. So this is my first class, and yeah, I
Geeta,
got knowledge.
you completed BTech.
Yeah, long ago.
Okay. BTech, which
BTech
stream?
in electronics and instrumentation. And I
Okay,
got
and then you have 5 years experience on which side?
oil and gas in instrument as an instrumentation engineer.
What is your role?
I was a design engineer. I don't know about all these finance terms. So I'm very new. So what do you suggest actually? Like,
I mean to
should I-
say, what is I'm asking, what is your current job role? Current job role.
job role is a design engineer. Like we design instruments in oil and gas field.
Okay. So since you don't have finance background, either in your academics or in your job profile also, you don't have finance, right?
Yes.
So better to learn supply chain management only,
Okay.
not financial. So if you have to learn financials means either in your academics or either in your job experience, you should carry financial knowledge.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Geeta? Okay.
Thank you.
So team, it's a same meeting ID, and classes are from Monday onwards, tomorrow, 7 to 8 morning. You can try 2 classes, first 2 classes are free. You can try first 2 classes and later you can enroll to the course.
Sir, Naveen here.
Naveen.
Sir, the timings will be 7 to 8. They told me the classes will be 7 to 8 and 8 to 9. So which classes will be?
7 to 8. It's 7 to 8 only. This course timing is 7 to 8 only. We don't
Okay.
change the timings. It's a fixed timings throughout the completion of the course, 7 to 8.
Okay. Sir.
But we are also running the evening batch. I mean, you have 1 year membership, right? Within 1 year, you can attend any batch at any time. If you are
Oh.
conducting morning batch, you can attend morning. If you are conducting evening, you can attend evening batch also.
At what time, sir? Evening batch timings?
Evening batch is 7 to 8 currently, but
Okay.
that is in the middle.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Okay, team. So if no questions, then we can close for the day. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 to 8.
Okay, sir.
Thanks, Basha, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.